90 miles off the coast of Florida, this Caribbean island is home to enchanting beaches, fertile valleys, and some of the most beautiful architecture on the planet. More than 5 decades of communist rule have preserved Cuba in a bygone era. Today, it remains an enigma trapped in time. Nowhere is that more evident than in its capital city, Havana.
The antique autos, the colonial architecture, the romantic streets. It's so easy to get lost in the allure of this city.
But towering above the streets and alleyways is a far more modern structure. This is the Havana Libre Hotel. When Fidel Castro swept to power in 1959, he made this hotel the temporary seat of the new Cuban government.
But not everyone supported Castro and his revolutionaries.
And it was here that a sinister mission to eliminate the Cuban leader played out.
What daring plot to kill off the most powerful man in Cuba unfolded within these very walls?
(1959) Havana. Revolutionary leader Fidel Castro has led a successful military campaign to take control of Cuba.
Fidel Castro is this larger-than-life figure. He's the leader of the revolution. He's moved an entire country.
But Castro's communist ideas and links to Soviet Russia strike fear into the heart of Cuba's biggest neighbor, the United States.
And as the socialist leanings sped up, the U.S. saw a greater sense of urgency in not only discrediting him, but assassinating him. They had already tried to give him an exploding cigar that could potentially kill him. There was a plot to put Valium salt in his shoes, which would effectively make his beard fall out.
But none of these schemes have worked. So they come up with a new plan to take down the communist leader. The CIA focuses on the one person who can penetrate his inner circle: Castro's jilted ex-lover, German-American Marita Lorenz, who has returned to the U.S.
She's scorned, she's hurt. The CIA realizes that she's vulnerable. They knew she was in love with him, and they talked to her about how he was not only a dangerous person, but he was also going to endanger the security of the United States of America. And they talked to her about how they needed her because of her intimate relationship with Fidel Castro to be part of their plot to assassinate him.
Convinced that Castro presents a threat to the U.S., Marita accepts the deadly mission.
The CIA knew that Fidel Castro was still held up in the penthouse of the Havana Libre Hotel. She's one of the few people on the planet that has access to Fidel, that can go to his penthouse room, and they concoct this plan to give Marita these poison pills that she's going to take to Havana, bring up to his penthouse apartment, dissolve in water, and kill him. She hides the pills in a vat of cold cream so she could get them through Cuban customs.
In January 1960, Marita arrives at the Havana Libre Hotel and charms her way past the guards to Fidel's penthouse. But the CIA has misjudged the would-be assassin. Face to face with him, she begins to have second thoughts.
But of course, she's in the place where they shared so many intimate moments together.
Marita's emotions get the better of her, and her plan starts to unravel.
Her heart is racing. She's trying to pull the cold cream off the pills, and it's not working.
Then Fidel walks in. Seeing the pills, he realizes that Marita has been sent to kill him.
Fidel understands his power over people. He sees her, she's trembling.
Castro reaches for his gun. Then he does something totally unexpected.
He he gives Marita his revolver. He says, "Go ahead, kill me. Take my life."
This is Marita's chance. She drops the gun and falls into Fidel's arms. As Fidel suspected, she can't go through with it. Fidel forgives his former lover and allows her to flee back to the United States. Despite her failure to carry out the assassination, Marita remains involved with covert government organizations for nearly 2 decades. But this is not the last assassination attempt that the CIA plots against the Cuban leader. In fact, Castro eludes over 600 attempts on his life, including one in which a wetsuit is lined with a deadly bacteria. These efforts only work to embolden the dictator. He rules Cuba for nearly half a century before stepping down and handing the reins to his brother Raul in 2008. And today, the Havana Libre Hotel still stands as a monument to a time when a poisonous love affair almost changed history. Just 10 miles east of Havana is the beautiful village of San Francisco de Paula. Nestled among the quiet coves and rocky bays that line the coast is an idyllic 15-acre property, Finca La Vigía.
Built in 1886, this striking property was the home and inspiration to one of the most enigmatic authors of the 20th century, Ernest Hemingway.
For nearly 2 decades, the writer lived and worked here. Today, his beloved boat, his tower office, and even his original typewriter are preserved just as the famed author left them. But behind this writer's paradise is a darker tale.